Hi guys, Emmy-nominated Christian Choi is sitting down with us today to talk a little bit about his career, working on various projects including Michael Jackson, Cher, the Super Bowl, and also most recently doing some really interesting stuff with the convergence of lighting and scenic elements. So how was it working on tour for Michael Jackson?
It was incredible. I was very young, 26 at the time. Michael Jackson had something like, I don't know, 1,600 cues in it. A lot of them were bumps on certain, or swipes. In Michael Jackson music, there was tons of it. It was like, I mean, all over the place. And you had to know each one of them. And then it wasn't like on every beat either. It was like 2 here, then wait, you know, and then 3 over here. And then, so to be on the Michael Jackson tour, first of all, that was nuts. To be programming the Michael Jackson tour, yeah, I was thoroughly elated. And then to be like, in a private jet traveling around the world, yeah, of course, I was stoked.
So you started your career as a spotlight operator, and your trajectory has sort of grown from, you know, having opportunities to be a lighting op, programmer, to designer. How is it that you sort of were able to take the leap from, you know, your very beginning?
I mean, I never considered it as a career path, not until I started working with it and noticed that it had an incredible similarity to playing music, you know, except I was playing light to music. And in a way, it was like all this art kind of coalescing together and in cohesion, and I was able to do something with that. It was inspiring to me, and I was thoroughly amazed by what the moving light technology was growing to be. I eventually got the opportunities, and one thing led to another, and I ended up working for Cirque du Soleil, which led to Michael Jackson, which led to a lot more tours. And then after that, I was doing HBO specials of those tours, and those HBO specials led to television, and then the rest is history.
And so I know that you, contrary to some lighting designers out there, you sort of do it all. You do the visual aspect of it, fabrication,
Yeah.
the lighting, and you've done a lot of custom content.
Oh yeah.
How is it that you get your influence for getting that content?
Generally, the music is the driving influence. It really does vary between, you know, sort of an award show type of thing or a theatrical type of performance, right? So if something's theatrical, more Cirque-like, for instance, that would be more driven, I'd suppose, by what's really happening on stage, the colors that we're using in the costumes, the type of mood that's happening on stage, than the music. If it's something like a big performance that's on a award show that's sort of pop-driven, yeah, you want the music to drive that.
So one of the things that's super interesting about your work is that you actually make your own scenic elements to the extent that you built your own CNC machine. How does that play in your design process?
One of the reasons why I got into engineering and designing the CNC was because I wanted to do high detail pieces where applicable, meaning high detail of cutting, you know, a lot of carving, a lot of cutting. And some of those pieces, if we had just taken them out and gotten them cut, would have probably cost us around as much as what the CNC machine would cost to build in the first place, just in cutting charges. The first couple pieces that we cut were pretty incredible because we realized, wow, we have this power now. We can do whatever we want. It's opened up this world of, okay, there's no more having to worry about how much it costs. We can worry rather about the design of things and being able to produce that design reasonably, you know?
So you have a lot of experience in broadcasting.
Yes.
Your work is incredibly textured and layered and intricate. At the same time, strangely subtle. It's a very nice and intricate balance. So I'd love to hear, you know, more about sort of...
I design stuff generally as a broad stroke. So I'll do something very simple, elegant, and try not to overcomplicate it, you know, try to make the details work within the framework of the simplicity of the design. It's very important not to over detail a piece, but to make the details that are there count so that they look, you know, like they delineate the piece. It's easy to overcompensate, you know, it really is. I think it's a lot more difficult to trust that enough is enough than to think that you need more just to fill in this and that.
So designing, especially lighting designing and scenic designing, it's that balance between, you know, mathematical and artistic facets.
Yes, absolutely. The algorithmic process of the design is really there primarily to provide interesting texture. Sometimes I want to do something exactly to a specific type of proportion, and I'll constrain it algorithmically to that, or I'll use a predefined definition that I've made in the past to push out columns or things that need to be done quickly, but with a reasonable amount of detail, so I don't have to keep drawing it over and over again.
What's your favorite part about doing, you know, what you do?
Actually doing the actual, past all the dress rehearsals, past all the rehearsals, the actual show part of things. The unraveling of everything, the culmination of all of your efforts up to that point. So calling the spotlights, getting all the board cues, everybody synchronized, and having the machine sort of run itself, you know. Seeing the final product, I think, is my favorite part.